This is Greg Troutwine with Maritime Reporter TV, and we're very pleased to be joined by Keven Reynolds, the managing director of OneTank, to discuss this organization's unique, innovative means to keep the Aftpeak tank retrofit simple. Keven, first and foremost, just thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that.
Okay, so Keven, why don't you just start us off? How did the OneTank concept even come about?
Yeah, so OneTank's a Gloston company, and as Gloston, we've helped more than a dozen ballast water treatment providers figure out how to take their treatment systems to market, whether that's going through type approval, doing evaluations, or installs on ships. And what we found was there's this Aftpeak tank. It's this lonely little ballast tank in the stern of tankers and bulkers, and no one had a solution quite tuned for this little tank. And so we end up installing big ballast treatment plants just for that one tank back there, which was a big effort and time. It was a lot of money, and it was just a distraction. So while we were developing the EnviroCleanse, which is now actually Cyanco Fast in tank system, we worked out an arrangement where we said, hey, there's this need, and worked out an arrangement where we were allowed to take that technology and develop one tank as a really basic stripped down treatment plant.
In the grand scheme of the ballast water management system, what exactly is the Aftpeak tank?
Yeah, so I mean everyone knows, right? There's the pointy end of the ship and there's the stern where the propeller is, and the aft peak tank usually sits right over that propeller. And where the cargo body tanks are used for trim control and they have to do with the cargo operations, the aft peak tank, you use it to dampen the vibration from the propeller, use it to cool the tail shaft, and you also use it to make sure that you're real efficient in how that propeller is into the water. Sometimes you're going for full submersion, sometimes you're going for partial submersion. So it's really important in that regard. The real interesting part is with tankers, the cargo body is a gas hazardous area and it must stay separated, including the ballast tanks. All the way back in the stern, that's a safe area. So you're not allowed by regulation to commingle those waters. So you need a totally different treatment plant there. On bulkers, these are giant bulk carriers and they have thousands of cubic meters per hour that gets treated for the cargo forebody. In the aft peak, you have this much smaller tank, maybe 1,000 cubic meters or so of capacity. And by arrangement, it's different pumps and it's different piping systems. So then you end up stuck with a whole ballast treatment plant just for this one tank back there.
What specifically is it about the OneTank solution that makes it unique? What is the cost value proposition?
Great. So it's an in-tank treatment technology and it's a bulk chemical technology. And this is all about simplicity. These ballast tanks aren't filled, these FB tanks aren't filled and emptied very regularly. It's once a month, it's once every 6 months, it's once a year. So how do we strip all of the unneeded components? And so basically it's we have this system that's 2 foot by 2 foot footprint. It only has 15 amps of power, and it's just one component to install. We take a small amount of piping that goes from the tank to the one tank unit and back into the tank to deliver bulk chemical. And we do the bulk chemical so we're not generating chemical on site. The crews don't have to maintain that equipment. This in-tank approach means that you fill the ballast tank by your normal means, no change to operations. The one tank takes a little bit of water out of the tank and circulates it where it adds bulk chemical. Now, a 20 gallons of ordinary bleach will treat a 600 cubic meter aft peak ballast tank. So that's about $80 of bleach. And that's all you need. So what we've done is we've just stripped everything away, made it really simple to avoid any complexity. As a result, we can offer this for $65,000, which I guess I can't compare it to the competition, but that's a really low price. That really simple installation approach means that installing it is very low cost. And then commissioning, operation, and service, when you're just dealing with a couple chemical metering pumps, There's just not much to it. So what the big advantage is if you want, because we're doing just one tank, we've avoided all this complexity, and it's just as simple as it could possibly be based on all that experience that we've gained over the last 20 years doing this.